Hello and welcome back, episode 173. We are going to use a carrot on a stick to launch a fireball. Okay, we did something similar to this before in episode 119, where we had an upgraded fireball turret. And in that we were working out the direction the fireball needed to go itself. We were doing the maths ourselves, so you can go and have a look at that one if you want. In this one, we're going to use a little trick, so it's going to work out the direction the fireball goes for us. So let's do a setup. I would say that Galsergi helped a lot on this one as well. And it's based on, someone gave me a comment a while ago, I've forgotten the name, I'm sorry, saying, can we do something with a magic wand or something? So this is going to be similar. Let's scoreboard, objectives, add, I'll call it click. And it's going to be used carrot on a stick. So every time I right click with the carrot on a stick, my click value will go up by 1. Okay, and I'm going to force load some chunks. Force load add -1, -1, 2, 1, 1. Okay, so that's an X and Z coordinates, 2 sets. We've got no Y. It's -1X, -1Z, to 1X, 1Z. So 0, 0 is going to be loaded, and we're going to use that to calculate the direction of the fireball for us. Let's get that running. Let's pop a little thing on here, give stick, put that in there, give the nearest player carrot on a stick. There's my stick. Okay, let's make a controller. Controller. Bonk, put a lever on it. Needs redstone's fine because I use a lever. Okay, now we've got some long commands. They'll all be in the description. We're going to execute as all players whose scores equals click, we called it click, equals 1 or higher. And only one person at a time, so limit equals 1. At that person, but I don't want it to be at my feet. I want it to be at my eyes. So anchored eyes. I'm going to run. I'm going to summon a small fireball. And I'm going to summon it using these types of relative chords. So the last one is the direction I'm looking. I will summon it 0.1, 0.1 in the direction I'm looking. Okay, and we want a bit of extra information. Tags. It's going to have 2. We'll call it projectile so we can target it easily later, and we're going to call it init so we can target it one time to update its direction. And I'm also going to give it a passenger, and the passenger is going to be so we know where we can summon an explosion or something later. So for now we will just put a passenger on there. It's a list, so square brackets, we're going to have 1 ID. Yeah, so for now we'll put the passenger on, and then later on we'll see where we use it. Don't forget the speech marks, Minecraft, and it should be a marker. And we'll also give it some tags. We'll give it 1 tag, so I know where to summon the explosion later. Explosion, fireboom. Okay. Done. So we right click, we summon a fireball wherever we are looking and just in front of us. And we've tagged them. That's what we're doing so far. Next, we are going to execute the same person again. All players. Now if you're in 1.20, I believe you can combine these next 2 commands into one. So there are better ways to do it in 1.20, but we can't do that in 1.19. Click equals 1 or higher. Limit equals 1. At the person. Now is where we're going to use our force loaded chunks, 0, 0. We are going to be positioned at 0, 0, 0. Positioned just in front, 0.1. Just in front, say I've put 0.1 is a bit close. That's okay for this one, but for this first one, do you know, I think I'm going to change this to 0.5. Half a block in front of us, otherwise it might appear inside our head, and we don't want that. So we'll go back here. 0.1, and we will run summon an area effect cloud. At the location, let's give it some tags. What tag should we give it? I'm going to call it direction, because this is going to be what's working out the direction. Okay, done. So if we pretended that's 0, 0, what we're doing here, we're going to position ourselves to 0, 0, and then we're going to move forward a little tiny bit. So we're positioning ourselves here, and then we'll move forwards a little tiny bit, and then we'll summon the area effect cloud. And the difference between here and here is basically telling it which direction it should go. Okay. Now, next command. We are going to data modify an entity. Entity type tag equals projectile. So we're going to get our tagged projectile, and also tag equals init. So we know it hasn't been initialized yet. Limit equals 1. Okay, and we're going to set its power, and we're going to set that from an entity, and it's going to be from there we go, and it's going to be from our area effect cloud. Tag equals direction, limit equals 1. Now the area effect cloud we didn't give a duration to, so it'll die after 1 tick. Pause. Okay, so the power of our small fireball is going to be set from the position of our area effect cloud. So if we were at 0, 0, and we were positioned, say, let's say +1, +1, which way is that? Positive Z. So if we were this way, we'd be getting 1, 1 going into the power of the projectile. Okay. Next command. We've added the power to the small fireball. We don't want to do that again. So we are now going to tag any entity. Tag equals projectile. Tag equals init. And we are going to remove that init tag. So we're not going to be adding that power to it again. Done. Now the fireball should be flying off by itself. We're not going to change anything else to it because we've initialized it. Let's reset our click score so we can click again. Scoreboard players, reset all players. Click. Done. Okay. And now we want an explosion. Okay, last one. Last block. Execute as any entity. Type equals marker, and this is going to be where our passenger comes back in. Remember that was a marker and it had the tag fireboom, and it's a passenger on the small fireball. So the small fireball is shooting away into the distance and the little marker is riding along on its back. Okay, and we're going to execute at that marker unless there is an entity type equals small fireball. Here's a common mistake I make. There we go. And tag equals projectile within a distance of 0 to 0.5. Okay, so as long as our marker is sitting on our fireball, this will not execute. Nothing's going to happen. And what's going to happen is the small fireball is going to hit something or the ground and die, and then the marker's going to go, oh, there's no fireball near me. Now I'll execute this command. Okay, what's it going to execute? Well, we're going to store a success in an entity, and the entity is going to be the marker. And in there, in its pos1, so in its y value, we are going to store, it's type double, we're going to store -2122. But that's on success, so store success. If the next command we do is successful, we will put -2122 into that marker's y value, which means he's just going to shoot down into the ground. Bye bye marker, he'll be dead. And the command we're going to try and do is run summon a fireball at the marker, and we'll give it some extra information. Power, which is a list. So we're going to give it no power on the x. We don't want it going off towards an x direction. We'll give it -0.5 on the y. Make sure we get a point there. So it's going to be someone going down, nothing on the z. Okay, so no x, no y. It's going to appear and go straight down. And let's give it explosion power of 1. Okay, let's try this. Let's turn it on. Ooh, well, it certainly worked. Okay, so let's just do a little check. Minions game mode is game mode survival. Yes, you. Okay, got full hearts at the moment. Let's see what happens. I don't know if I want to make a mess. There's command blocks under there. Ooh. Oh, he set him on fire. It's definitely done something. I didn't damage any of the command blocks though. Okay, so that's definitely working. Now, it's quite slow. We can change its speed. We can do that in this second command block. And its speed is determined by how far away this is from 0, 0. So if we were to make this up to 0.5, whoosh, much faster. Okay, so that's how you change its speed. You come into here and you change this here. If you wanted to, you can remove this bit at the end, or you could summon TNT instead. I'm going to have some fixing to do anyway, so why not? What happens if we use TNT? Well, we've got a lot of fire there. If we use TNT, oh dear. Yeah, I don't think we'll be doing that to you, minion. That's a bit too much. Okay, but there we have it. We've got a carrot on a stick, and we're firing off fireballs, which we can either then set people on fire with, or we can just create huge explosions. We could do something nice. Maybe you could give them health. I don't know, but this is more fun. Anyway, that's it for now. I'll see you in the next one. Bye-bye. Can I fire one at you? Very slowly. Cheerio.